What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Landing. I'm Tristan. Joined with me always is Fisher. And this episode we get to celebrate because Big Ben is officially, for the time being, gone. The
Yes.
Steelers are no more.
Yeah.
And I was 4 of 6 for my picks, which I'm happy about. I guess I was hoping the Steelers would at least make a little bit more of a run before they got kicked out, but. If you think about it, I mean, they didn't really stand a chance against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just that
Hell
good.
no. Yeah. I realized like just the day before, I'm like, why the hell did I have the Steelers beating the Chiefs? I'm like, I'm so stupid. But yeah, honestly, I don't even know what games I got right. I mean, there was so many blowouts. Like, holy crap. I was not expecting there to be as many blowouts as there should have been. Like the Bills and Patriots, I was expecting that to be a close game. The 49ers and Cowboys, I mean, if you look at the score, it looks close, but it really wasn't most of the time.
You had the Cowboys making a run.
I'm so stupid. Whatever. It's okay. It's always next
It's
year.
not dumb. It just comes down to luck, and it just comes down to pick. I mean, like I did not think the Niners were going to win that game either.
Yeah, true. Well, they definitely proven us wrong. I mean, that would be kind of interesting if we get a 49ers and Chiefs Super Bowl again. That would be quite interesting. I think it would be really unexpected if something like that were to happen. But Eagles and Bucks,
Oh
we
yeah.
all knew that game was going to be a blowout. So we got that right. And then the Rams and Cardinals, I was hoping to be a close game, but obviously the Cardinals had no idea what they were doing against the Rams. So
Did you watch that game at all?
yeah, I watched I think the majority of it.
Did you see The Rock like giving his speech, and then like as soon as it ends, Kyler Murray threw that pick six?
Oh, wait. Was The Rock on the Peyton
Manning
Manning?
cast, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Manning cast. Yeah. Well, it's
With
funny,
him and Eli.
because I actually don't. I actually did watch that. The first time I ever watched the Manning cast was actually that game, but I wasn't there when The Rock was on. I was there when Russell Wilson showed up at the end. Wait, this is the same game we're talking about, right? The Rams and Cardinals. Yeah, it should be the same
Yeah,
one I was
yeah.
talking about. Yeah, and so yeah, that was the first time I ever actually sat down and watched it on TV, the Manning cast, and I think that would be kind of cool to do it more often because it's kind of interesting, like kind of hearing what they have to say, and they're not like as filtered compared to the normal commentators that you see within like the normal like Showtime or the show
Oh yeah.
broadcast it's on, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. But no, I wasn't there with The Rock. Yeah, but that's right. He threw. I think I did see a clip of it though. So
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. But yeah, I mean, like when it came down to my picks, I mean, I was 4 of 6. Yeah, I mean, I did not think the 49ers were going to beat the Cowboys, but they did. Cowboys blew it in every year fashion, typical Cowboys. And that's the thing with the Cowboys too, is that they have so much talent. They got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper as the receivers, Dalton Schultz tight end. They got Zeke in the backfield. They got a good old line. They got Dak. And then on defense, they had Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator, who is our defensive coordinator. We won the Super Bowl. And he's a good he's a good coach. He's a really good defensive coordinator. And Micah Parsons, I feel like he had like 15 or something sacks this year, 13, 15. However, it was double digits regardless as a rookie. That's insane. And Trayvon Diggs was a beast at corner this year, and like they have all the talent, and the fact that they lost, there's just I did not see it coming. And then Dak Prescott won the MVP for Nickelodeon because the game was on. Yeah, so now Dak Prescott and Mitch Trubisky are the two MVPs of all time. I'm curious to see who's going to end up winning it next year.
have you heard how like on that Nickelodeon broadcast that sometimes there will be hot mics and you can pick up the player saying the F word?
Yeah, I remember that happened last year. Yeah, because it was the Bears and the Saints. And
Yeah.
I remember I can't remember what receiver it was. It was someone on the Bears just straight up punched a guy on the Saints.
Yeah,
I remember it was on
the
there. It was
commentators for
bad.
the Nickelodeon broadcast were like trying to say something to like kind of mask, like try and quickly mask when they said that. But at least from this playoffs, from what I could tell, it wasn't as loud compared to last year's.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I think they tried to people want it to be like an annual tradition that there will be at least one Nickelodeon broadcast where someone yells out the F word.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing too. Like the last couple times, like the Bills and the Patriots have played, like especially whenever they play in Buffalo, at least one fan throws a dildo out on the field.
Oh,
And
that's right.
somebody did that this last week, and whenever Kendrick Bourne scored a touchdown for the Patriots, it was like one of the only touchdowns they scored. Like someone threw a dildo onto the field.
Yeah, that's. And then what game was it? Was it the Rams game where someone was throwing toilet paper at the field goals? Um, Shoot, it was like when they were kicking
I
field goals or extra points. They were throwing. Who frick was it? The Rams game.
I
Uh,
honestly don't remember that, to be totally honest with you. That was the
hmm.
thing too with the Rams and the Cardinals game. I really wanted the Cardinals to win just because I don't like the Rams, but just it was a disaster from the word go for the Cardinals, and I'm curious to see how the Rams are going to do against Tampa Bay this week.
Right. I'm trying. Okay,
That's
right
going to
now
be a
I'm
good
trying to
game.
like look at an image, like a really good. What? No, later. Gosh dang it. Yeah, I'm trying to find like an image of the playoff picture right now for the playoffs because I was just looking at the picture that I made, which of course is completely wrong now. But
Hmm.
and so I want to look at
Okay,
something
yeah, so
that's legit. I can't really find like
yeah,
a bracket. Like I just find lists. I don't want a list. I want a bracket. It makes it so much easier for me
yeah.
to understand.
Yeah, I know the four games off the top of my head because I know that because I know there's only four games, so it's easier to remember. I know the two
Right.
Saturday games. It's it's the Packers are going against the 49ers, so the
Mm-hmm.
49ers are playing in Green Bay, and the Bengals are playing the Titans. I Okay, so the Bengals and the Titans is the first game, and then
Yep.
the Niners and the Packers is the second game Saturday, and then
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday, uh, I know the Bills and the Chiefs play last because that's the game I'm most looking forward to. So the first game that
Ooh,
means
yeah, it's
that
gonna be a
has to
good
be
game.
the first game Sunday has to be the Rams and the Buccaneers. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean obviously yeah, I mean I'm looking forward to all of them, but I'm really looking forward to the Bills and Chiefs game because I mean it's a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year, and
Mm-hmm.
also the Bills beat the Chiefs earlier this season. Back when the Chiefs were, I think that was like right around the time, because they started off like 3-4 and they went on their big winning streak. So I mean
Mm-hmm.
that was around the time that was around their 3-4 time period. So they weren't doing near as well as they are now. But and it's tough to beat a good team twice in a season. So I mean,
Right.
I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous. But I still think the Bills are going to win. Josh Allen's just so good. The If I remember, yeah, Josh Allen only threw like four incompletions the whole entire game last week. They didn't punt the ball once, so their punter
Right.
just he didn't have to go out in the field once for that entire game. Like imagine being the punter for a team and you go out in the playoffs and you're like, okay, I have to be on my A game whenever I'm out there, and you don't even step foot on the field.
Yeah, I think I did see a meme where he was like he was just like what I think he was freezing on the sideline or something, or can't remember
Mhm.
what it was, but yeah, I saw some jokes about how he didn't do anything. But hey, he gets paid, right? So I
Oh
mean,
yeah, without a
um,
doubt. And then
but
with
sorry, just go
go
on.
ahead.
I
Oh,
was
okay,
just,
okay.
I was literally just gonna say that yeah, there's a good chance he's probably gonna punt next game. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. I hope he doesn't. I hope the Bills just keep running up the scoreboard. But
yeah.
and then with Big Ben leaving, I mean, the more I was thinking about it, the only quarterback that's left from since like the quarterbacks that we saw whenever we were growing up, Tom Brady is the last one left. Like all of them,
Mm,
like Drew Brees left retired after last season, so after the 2020 season,
yeah.
and then Big Ben's gone. Peyton Manning retired after the 2015 season when they won the Super Bowl. It's just crazy. It's gotten to the point where we're into the newer generation now. With
Isn't it the same thing with running backs too, or am I mistaken? Or is it just
yeah, I
quarterbacks?
mean
Because I know quarterbacks
they
for sure, but
yeah, because
yeah,
I mean running backs aren't in the league for near as long. Because I mean they take a beating because they're
that's a good
constantly getting the
point.
ball running through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who the oldest running back is right now in the league.
Hmm.
I'll probably think of one eventually, but it's got to be Adrian Peterson. He's definitely got to be up there. He's just like ancient now,
I can't
and he's.
remember. Oh, sorry. Go. Keep going. I want to
Oh, I was just gonna
interrupt.
say he's one of the best running backs that's ever been around, and the fact that he's even still in the league is impressive. And it's just funny saying that he was on the Seahawks at one point.
Right, and another thing is I don't remember his name, but there was a guy. I believe it was an offensive lineman. Maybe it was the center for the Rams. Like he's like 40 years old. I don't know. I think it was a tackle. I don't think it was the center, but yeah, I remember there saying like they were like shouting him out like I think in their last game like he was like 40 years old, and he definitely looked like an old person like out there on the field compared to everyone else.
Yeah. I think it's Andrew Whitworth. It's their left tackle. 'Cause I know he's old. Let me look it up. Yeah, but no, he's definitely got to be up there. I think he's in his late 30s. Yeah, he might be 40.
I think he is
Yeah,
40.
he's 40 years old. Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, he got drafted in the second round of the 2006 draft.
Sheesh. Wow, man. He's been
Yeah.
there for a while. But I
Mm-hmm.
guess before we could talk more about the football playoff situation going on right now, I want to quickly let our listeners know that I guess depends where you're listening to this at, but normally this podcast was uploaded on my YouTube channel. It still is in 2 different parts. I wish I could make it into one part, but my internet sucks ass. And so anyway, when it comes to this podcast, you guys, we are now have it available on Spotify. I'll make sure there will be a link in the description that will take you to this podcast on Spotify, because apparently there is another podcast called The Landing, and they currently I think only have like 12 episodes, so we got to beat them here in the next few weeks. But also Apple Podcasts. I wrote down Apple Music for some reason. Apple Podcasts is another way I can actually upload these podcasts as well. It's literally as easy as clicking a button from the looks of things on the way I have it set up. So if you're listening to this on YouTube and you would like to listen on Apple Podcasts, let me know in the comments, or let us know in the comments. Like seriously, we'll like to know where you guys want to listen to it. And of course, you could be listening to this on Spotify. Maybe you found us on there or something like that. And if that's the case, then make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Spartacus 200. I don't know if you can put links in a Spotify description. Maybe you can. But anyway, yeah, if I make Call of Duty videos, so if you're interested in that, make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. And so with that little break, let's get back to football.
Yeah, with the Spotify version for our sponsors, we should just do a shout out to your channel. It's like this episode is brought to you by the Spartacus 200.
Yeah, we'll like cut in like an ad break, but I'll do the ad breaks on like a separate recording, and I'll upload them differently on both. That would be kind of cool, actually, huh? That would be kind of
Yeah,
interesting if we did something like that.
it's worth a shot.
But then again, I don't really want to put too much effort into it because I'm lazy fuck. But
Yeah, at least you're honest.
so you and I already came up with our playoff predictions. AFC, NFC championships, and Super Bowls. Mine didn't age very well. I only got 3 of the 6 games right for the wild cards, which really sucks. So like everything's all screwed up for me now. So I guess we can just go through the 4 games on who we think is going to move forward now. So let's start with the Bengals and Titans.
I want the Bengals to win this game really bad, but I'm going to have the Titans winning this game because there's a good chance Derrick Henry is going to come back. Even if Derrick Henry doesn't come back, I still think the Titans are going to win. It was impressive seeing them continue to do well after Derrick Henry was gone, because it seemed like he's definitely like the most intimidating part of that offense. But they got the bye week. They're a lot healthier than they were, and I have the Titans winning this game.
Yeah, I think I have the Titans as well, because after watching the Bengals and Raiders game, which was an entertaining game to watch, I wasn't like overly impressed with the Bengals because I thought the Raiders were not doing super hot, and they really were able to like blow them out completely. And so I feel like if they're gonna go up against the Titans, who just had a bye basically, and so I just think Titans have a better skill level. But things could change. It could be Bengals blowing out the Titans because the Titans have a week off, and so maybe they lost momentum. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I definitely have Titans winning that game.
Me too. I'm rooting for the Bengals, but I have the Titans winning that game. So the next game we got the 49ers and the Packers. Who do you got on that one?
Packers. I don't think 49ers will make it. Okay, this is what my prediction is for right now. If the 49ers do beat the Packers, I think 49ers are going to head to the Super Bowl. I think they will win the NFC Championship, because the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is just on fire this year. And just in general, the Packers have just done extremely well. And the 49ers were able to just squeak by and get into the playoffs. And were able to, of course, hold themselves together against the Cowboys. But I really think the Packers are just a much better team overall. I don't know if the 49ers and Packers, how many times they played against each other this year. Did they even play each other? I don't even know.
They did. They played earlier in the season, and the 49ers were winning, and then the Packers drove down the field last minute and kicked the field goal as time expired and won. It was a really good, entertaining game.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to remember this now. But that's probably why I don't remember, because it's so early in the season. But yeah, so Packers, I think, are going to win that game. Will it be close? Hard to say. I just don't have faith in Garoppolo, honestly. He's not consistent. And so, I don't know. I just think Packers are just overall just a better team.
This is my one surprise game. I actually, once I saw the 49ers were playing the Packers, I think the 49ers are going to win that game. It seems like in the past, Aaron Rodgers has never done too hot against the 49ers, and that was a piece of me likes to believe it's because that was his childhood team growing up. That was the team that he always wanted. He always wanted to play for the 49ers, and it goes all the way back to the draft whenever they picked Alex Smith over him because the Niners had the first overall pick and they ended up picking Alex Smith, and then Aaron Rodgers slid down in the draft until the late first round, and that's when the Packers got him. So I'm gonna have I want the Packers to win and just get to the Super Bowl just to lose because I don't like the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
But being a Seattle fan, I'm also not a 49ers fan either. But yeah, I have the 49ers winning this game. I feel like there's always one top seed playoff team every year that loses in an upset, and I'm having the 49ers winning this game.
Okay, yeah, I can respect it. And, they, of course, are in the same division as the Seahawks. Same with the Rams. So it's possible the Rams and 49ers will go to the NFC Championship, and they're both in the same division. That would be pretty crazy, actually. But which I guess goes to our next game is the Rams and Buccaneers. So who do you have going for that game, Tristan?
I have the Buccaneers winning that game. It seems like I feel like it's going to be a lot similar to the playoffs from last year. Not just with the Bucks making a deep playoff run, but also it seemed like their defense continued to improve, not just in the playoff itself, but just like in the regular season towards the end and going into the playoffs. Their defense continued to get stronger and improve. I have the Buccaneers winning this game.
Gosh, I could not tell you who I have winning this game. This is going to be a tough one. And of course, both these teams, their last games were essentially blowouts, especially for the Rams. And so I'm just frick. I'll do the opposite. I'll do the opposite as you on this one. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think they'll win, but I definitely think it'll be a close game. I mean, Tom Brady's obviously he's the GOAT, right? I mean, there's nothing else to explain there. But Rams, having that blowout game, I mean, I don't know if that means anything, but I just felt like they were scoring when they didn't need to score anymore, and so
Tom Brady's going to be going against Jalen Ramsey, who's the best corner in the league. That's going to be a fun matchup. But also, I want the Buccaneers to win, and if the 49ers beat the Packers, then the Bucs are going to play the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, and the 49ers were also Tom Brady's childhood favorite team. He grew up being like the biggest fan of Joe Montana. He was there whenever Joe Montana made the throw to Dallas Clark, or not Dallas Clark, sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing the biggest blank right now with their tight end, but he made that catch whenever Joe Montana was like throwing it away against the the Cowboys, and he made that really good catch. And yeah, Tom Brady was at that game whenever that catch was made.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. That's pretty sick. But I did know he was a fan of the 49ers growing up. But yeah, okay, cool. So I guess the last and fourth and final divisional round game is going to be the Bills and Chiefs. I mean, I kind of already know what you're going to choose. You're a huge simp. We already just established that in the last podcast. But yeah, do you think the Bills are actually going to win this game against the Chiefs?
Yeah. I have them winning this game. It's hard to beat a really good team twice. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like it's going to be a really good game. They both had high scoring offenses in the wild card game. It's going to be a good game altogether, but I feel like the Bills are out for blood, especially considering that they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game last year.
That's true. I forgot about that. So yeah, I actually think the Bills will win as well. It's going to be a tough one though. It's for both teams, and that's what makes playoffs so exciting for the NFL. I just feel like even just during regular season, I just feel like any team can beat each other, and I think that's what makes the NFL so much more entertaining compared to like NBA or Major League Baseball. There is some upsets with Major League Baseball, but like I feel like I don't know. There are definitely some upsets with that one. I remember when the Mariners, they beat one game against the Houston, and that was honestly, I remember watching that game. That was really entertaining. But
Anyway.
Oh, are
Yeah,
you
I
watching
was
on
just
your
gonna say,
phone?
it was Dwight Clark. He was the tight end for the 49ers that made that catch. I think I said Dallas Clark. I meant to say Dwight Clark.
Oh
I know
yeah.
he had that catch that Tom Brady was at that game. But yeah, I have the Bills winning against the Chiefs. I think it'll be a really good game. That's the game I'm definitely the most excited for. And I feel like whoever wins that game is going to end up representing the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with you on that. I think one of those two teams is going to be the one making it to the Super Bowl because I look at Bengals and Titans, and especially Bengals, I don't see enough skill there, but Titans maybe. But I don't know. I don't know. I definitely see the Bills and Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl. But yeah, Bills winning the Chiefs, I think that's definitely a possibility there. So. Oh man, football. I really want to get into it more. Like, obviously, you're so into it that you know like basically every player who's a starter. I feel like, and that's the struggle I have is trying to remember players' names and like which teams they play for. Because there's only like a handful I know. Like the quarterbacks are pretty easy to remember. Some running backs like especially for Seahawks, I'm pretty. I have a pretty good understanding of who all the players are there. But outside of the Seahawks, it's really hard for me to remember who has what, especially when it comes to trading players too. I have to remember who went where.
Oh yeah,
And
and
if
free agency can mess it up too.
yeah, and then of course there might be some new starters from the draft, and oh my gosh, it's so hard for me to keep up. But I noticed over the last couple of years, I've been trying to pay a lot more attention because I believe my first 2 years in college, I just did not watch any football. Like it was extremely rare I watched football games because I was always like away from home, so I didn't like have anywhere to watch it. So when I'd go home for like the holidays and there'd be like a football game on, I'm like, oh my god, this is so weird. Like football season's been going on for a while now, and so
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so yeah, I'm trying my
Yeah.
best
The
I can.
draft is
Sorry.
yeah. A
Wow,
forever.
we are
No,
been
no,
really
you're
bad
good.
at this. Holy shit.
No, no, no. That's totally fine. That is totally fine. But yeah, no, yeah. The draft is one of my favorite times of the year. I watch mock drafts religiously. I haven't been as into it this year because the Seahawks don't have a first round pick this year, which is definitely a bummer because it's with the Jets with the
Oh
Jamal
my
Adams trade.
god.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting either way. We'll still have an earlier second round pick. But yeah, no, I love watching the combine. I love looking into that. It's interesting seeing like what teams trade up, which ones select a QB, and seeing like what teams need a quarterback going into the season. Like I'm really curious to see what the Steelers are going to do with their quarterback situation. Same thing with the Washington football team. Are they going to stick with Taylor Heineke for another year? What they're going to do with that? And then it's interesting with the Philadelphia Eagles as well because they made it to the playoffs and they're going into the draft with 3 first round picks. I don't know if I talked about that last episode, but yeah, it's I love the draft. It's really entertaining to see what players go where and which ones pan out and end up becoming the next like future superstars and which ones end up becoming busts.
Yeah, that's so true. And I like when does the draft usually happen?
Late
what month? Like I don't know if it's always the same month they do it, but
Yeah, it's usually late April. I mean, there was one year, like a couple years back, where they did it in late May. But yeah, it's usually like around last week of April, like not too long after the Super Bowl, like few weeks after. So that's usually when they have the combine. They usually have like the Senior Bowl, where like a lot of like the best college players basically just play in a scrimmage game against each other. Uh, or yeah, it's like all the best, like a lot of the really good college players. They'll go on one team. They'll get in 2 separate teams and they'll play against each other, and that's a good opportunity for them to show what they can do. And a lot of players tend to go like a lot of players have like the game of their life in the Senior Bowl, and then they get drafted and don't pan out. And there are also
mhm.
players who don't do as well in the Senior Bowl, and they end up doing really well in the NFL. That's the thing too. It's like it really comes down to luck when it comes down to a lot of it. There's a lot of players that are absolute beasts in college, and they go into the NFL and they don't do a whole lot. Like trying to think of a good. I mean, there's so many good examples, but I mean, like the one that I think of recently is Sidney Jones. He's a really really good corner for UW, and then he tore his Achilles at his pro day, uh, right before, not too long before the draft. Like he was gonna be like an early first round pick, and then he ended up going in the second round to the Eagles. And he was mediocre. And I think he went to the Jags after that, and then he was with us this year. But he's just been a mediocre corner. But yeah, and he was a beast at UW.
Hmm. Yeah, it's so hard for me. Yeah, I need to figure out like, is it what how do you keep up to date with football? Like, where do you go to like see latest updates on whatever's going on with football, whether that's, trading or like anything? Like, where do you go to get your number one source of information for football, at least NFL anyway?
Personally, Twitter. I mean, that's like the only thing that I follow on Twitter is just like like Ian Rappaport, like Adam Schefter, like Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report. I get a lot of updates there on stuff. I'm sure there are other alternatives, but that's just at least what I've stuck with over the past few years, and it's been great for me. And then I know I have some buddies that are really into football too, and if I don't get updates that way, I'll get updates from them. But yeah, Twitter's usually the one place I go to whenever it comes to those kind of updates, and I look at like when it comes to the draft, I look at mock drafts. And usually like on Walter Football, their mock drafts are updated weekly, like at least once, if I believe to my understanding.
See,
And then
I didn't even
yeah.
know you used Twitter, because I know, like, obviously we use Snapchat because that's how we communicate. But like, I didn't know, because I know you like got rid of your Facebook and Instagram and all that. So I didn't know you had a Twitter, because when you brought it up to me, because you're like, you're not even following me. And I think
Yeah,
what
I know.
actually
Yeah,
happened.
I followed you months ago, and you never followed me back.
Well,
I'm
no, no,
putting you
no.
on
I think what
blast.
happened is, so I turned my notifications off on Twitter. Like, I turn them off whenever someone tries to follow me or likes one of my posts or something. Like, I'll only get a notification if someone likes my post if it's somebody else that I'm following or something like that. But
Hmm.
or I don't remember how it goes, because there used to be because like I usually reply to a lot of people out there who are bigger names on Twitter, and
Hmm.
sometimes I'll get like a lot of responses. I'll get like hundreds of likes, and my phone will just blow up, and it just gets so annoying for me that I have to turn it off. So,
Oh
and then
yeah.
like once in a while I'll go through like my replies, and I'll see if like how many likes it gets and how many replies I got, which doesn't happen too often, but sometimes I'll
Hmm.
get really surprised that I'll just have like so much attention I didn't even realize it or something like that.
Oh yeah, and like yeah, it's fun watching the combine too because there's a lot of players you realize like what athletic freaks they are. Like DK Metcalf, remember he blew up at the combine because he did so well. He ran like a 4.340. He didn't do too well in the cone drill, and I remember a couple drafts ago, Jeff Okudah, who's done okay in the NFL. He got injured at the beginning of the season this year, and he was out for the year with the Giants. But it was crazy watching his footwork for in the combine. It's crazy like watching corners and just other receivers and a lot of skill positions, like the way like they'll run cone drills and just watching cut corners and just the way they can cut all four corners, just like today's sponsor, Four Corners Cafe. You can go there and you can get a delicious breakfast or a delicious banana split for a discount price. It tastes like old people food. It's lovely. Can't recommend it enough. And use promo code Lightning to get 10% off a banana split.
Yeah, and if you go up to the whoever's working there, the cashier, and you place your order, and if you use the code name Spartacus, like just whisper to them Spartacus, and they will give you a free COD points gift card. And how much is that COD points gift card, you may be asking? Well, it's one COD point. That's how much it is worth. So make sure you whisper to
Lovely.
them, tell them, just say Spartacus, don't say anything else, just Spartacus, and they will hand you a COD point gift card.
Yes, and there's a good chance that that cashier will give you their number because they will be so in love with you.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's this is an opportunity you guys just can't miss out on. And another
yeah,
thing
you really can't.
I'd like to mention really quickly, kind of moving away from football here. So if you are watching this on YouTube, or I guess listening to it, nothing really much to watch, but like if you are listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and comment anything you guys liked. Like maybe you have a question that you guys want us to answer. I think that would be really cool to like hear what some of you guys want to have asked. Just, oh my god, I am butchering this so hard. Just comment on the video. Just comment on the fucking video, you guys. Just comment and just say whatever you want. Like, I don't care. And maybe we'll give you a little shout out here on like the next episode. For example, 3 weeks ago, we had someone named Ike Green comment on our podcast. And he, of course, was definitely not a guest on that episode either. But he said, you guys are just so amazing and handsome. Thank you so much for the comment, Ike.
Shout out Ike. I actually have a funny story about Four Corners Cafe. So this was a few years back. I was there with my girlfriend at the time, and then a guy that was in our class, he was working there, and we ate our food, and then he showed up, and then he gave us a bowl, and he's like, "Oh, here's a banana split on me." I was like, "Oh, thanks, dude." And it was just three things of ice cream, one scoop of chocolate, one scoop of vanilla, one scoop of strawberry with whipped cream and a cherry on top. And I was like, "Dude, where's the banana?" Like he made me a banana split and forgot to put a banana in it, so it was just a split.
Oh wow, that's it's just a split.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Man, oh, never mind. I was about to bring up something, but we already talked about it. There are actually, however, there is one thing I made a video talking about, and we can discuss it a little bit here within this episode, is Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. This is actually
Big
really
news.
interesting, especially for the gaming industry, because I didn't even know this until you said something to me, Tristan, is how Sony's stock plummeted really hard after, like, soon after this acquisition was announced, and I think I read somewhere else that it hasn't happened. That hasn't happened to Sony since 2008, which I believe was during the recession too. So that I thought that was pretty interesting how that happened. But I also didn't realize that Activision Blizzard stock was also going down. I don't know, like the last. Was it last 20 days? It was like going down or something. I don't remember what was going on with it. But it was because I did watch some sort of video where it was Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, and Phil Spencer, I think his name. He's the head Xbox director or something like that. They had like them on some news broadcast and we're talking to him for a little bit. And it's kind of funny because I know Bobby Kotick has been under a lot of fire with the sexual assault allegations going on with the company and basically how he knew about it because there was some leaked information of him knowing about it and people were getting pissed off at him. And it's funny because in this like little news clip I saw, they brought it up and he was like saying, he's like, yeah, it's like I always, he's like trying to defend himself, basically saying that, yeah, I always like take care of the sexual assaults and make sure that we have a safe workplace. And it's like, no, you fucking don't. Like this has been going on for years. You haven't done shit. It's like Bobby Kotick. I know I shouldn't be talking shit about him because obviously he's more successful than me. But like,
fuck that guy. Start some beef. I call out DJ Khaled. You call him out.
Okay,
It's
you know
your
what?
turn.
Yeah, fuck you, Bobby Kotick. I hope you go down into 6 feet underground. Like I
Go down into 6 feet underground.
I did not mean that the work together like that. So, but hey, there you go. I'm starting my own rap career now, guys. Anyway, yeah.
That's why you shouted out Apple Music earlier in the podcast. That was actually like a sneak peek.
Yeah, it was a little sneak peek. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna have my own rap career. Just stay tuned for it. I mean, I don't know what my rap name will be just yet. It'll probably be like Lil Spartacus or something. I don't know.
Lil Spartacus.
No, I'm not gonna make rap music.